Okay, so I've bloviated and opined on the injustice, and we've got cities burning. But is that all what's going on, beloved? Or is there an underlying spiritual issue that most of us have missed? Let's take a look at how pressure is defined. It's has two tenses in the English lexicon, noun and a verb tense, and we're going to look at both of them. The noun, the exertion of force upon a surface by an object or fluid or etc. in contact with it. Verb tense, to force something or someone towards a particular end. Speaking of pressure, beloved, the state, now and again, of pressing or being pressed, the exertion of force by one body on the surface of another. A moral force that compels, a moral force that compels an urgent claim or demand, or series of urgent claims or demands. Force in pressure, by its very composition and nature, when it becomes overt and when the object that contains or seeks to suppress the pressure no longer is adequate to contain the building of the force that is a byproduct of the pressure itself. The nature of it is to find a way of relief or to escape. One of the things that you may think is counterintuitive to everything that's going on, because irrespective of where you stand, whether you stand on the and from the distinction that something needs to be done due to the injustice of fellow citizens and human beings in this country, or whether you stand from the perspective of that, hey, you're not going to help it by the way that you react to these things. Irrespective, or a litany of, or myriad of any things in between. We're not a monolith. We all see things and view things differently. But I'm telling you, it's one thing that we may not be looking at. We may not be looking at Satan sitting back and laughing, attempting to influence and provoke it all. I'm telling you, and it takes us back to Luke. Why did you read, nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that should not be known and come abroad? One of the reasons why we should have advanced, beloved, so much further than where we are, even as believers on the front line of faith, pushing for righteous change in our lives and spiritual deliverance and wholeness, is because we have the advantage of word and prophecy. And there's certain aspects of the evil of Satan, the accuser of the brother and the adversary that has gone on from time immemorial, that we should already be able, to detect and expose based upon what has been left on record in our learning and what the enemy has been doing forever, which is how we really feel, what's really going on the inside of us, what we have been taught, how we've come up to believe in indigent. You cannot have enough elections. It's like we never learn what is on the inside of a person is going to come out. And we have a tendency, and I'm almost done being on my righteous bully pulpit, but we have a tendency, beloved, to fall along the lines of just either one area or another area that pits us against one another. And we miss the catalyst, the thing that affects a chemical reaction without being a direct part of it. We miss Satan in the whole premise. So we come to a place where, my Lord, all police are bad. Is that a fact? We come to the place where black people end up talking about ain't no good white people. We end up coming to a place where white people saying that black people are a waste of skin and air and space when we're not looking at the fact that evil defies community, color, organization, country, land, air, sea, and water. Let me tell you something. The inhumanity that were in the police officers involved in this latest incident with George, what was in them, beloved, I'm telling you based on scripture, was going to come out one way or the other because it was in them. Whether we live in a politically correct society where people are paralyzed by the threat of being called racist or not, if you are racist, all you got to do is wait. The evil that's in racism is going to come out of the individual, and racism, by the way, defies color. Just like we're saying from another distinction. People just looking for opportunities to be anarchists and to upend society. They don't really need that good of an excuse. It's in their heart to pillage, to destroy, to burn property that's not theirs, to harm, to negatively impact a community, to steal. That darkness is in them. They really don't need an excuse, but eventually it's going to come out one way or the other. When are we going to, body believers, begin to do our job, which is to be a light of the world, which is to be a city set upon a hill that cannot be hidden, which is to be obedient and to witness and to do the things, albeit oftentimes that are unpopular, that the Most High is commending us to do. Listen, we can go back to Acts the 9th chapter and we can begin to discuss the job that was given to Brother Ananias that how many of us would have done? Here we are, we have Saul of Tarsus, a strict Pharisee that happened to be an educated Roman citizen, which was rare, that had taken up the prejudicial and racist cause at that period of time because Judah was being oppressed by Rome, to confiscate so many believers in the Christ, being of his own community, and to prosecute them, so many of them to their deaths, now being enlightened and receiving the grace by being approached by the Christ himself, according to scripture, and having his old man and his old way of seeing things and eyes blocked and brought to blindness, and the job was to be brought aware and to open his eyes to righteousness, but the Most High wanted to use as a symbol of miraculous intercessory. Ananias, go. There's a man named Saul that's in Damascus. I pray that you go and that you pray the scales that is blinding him off of his eyes. Wait a minute now. The same Saul that would kill or would not hesitate to see that I'm prosecuted and killed for my very beliefs. Beloved, evil is going to exist and darkness is going to exist after this. No matter how many laws we pass, no matter how many protests we had. Protesting is all right. I'm not saying that we shouldn't protest. I'm just saying that we need to think about some other elements, because let me tell y'all something. You all, by your own admission, how much is protest getting us?